If you're a bass guitar player, then you most likely know the struggle of carrying a heavy amplifier. Traditionally, bass amps have always been a hefty weight. However, today I'd like to discuss and review some lightweight bass combo amp options that any bass player from beginner all the way to professional can use. If you like any of the bass amps featured here, I've dropped a link in the description for each one so you can check them out further. The bass amps I have chosen meet very specific criteria. These include firstly, the ability to be loud enough in a gig or band scenario. And secondly, the weight needs to be very manageable for any bass player to carry. I've decided to review only combo amps for this list. The reason for that is because there are a ton of lightweight bass amp heads out there, but a lot of bassists aren't aware of the lightweight combo amps available. Therefore, I'd like to save your back as a bass player and prevent you from ever carrying a heavy bass amp again. Without me wasting any more time, let's look at my top 3 options. Number 1. The TC Electronic BG250-112. There is no doubt that this bass combo amp by TC Electronic is the best lightweight option on the market available. It can easily be heard over a banded rehearsal as well as in medium-sized venues. Furthermore, if this model is not big enough for you, TC Electronic offer a bigger 300-watt version. Not only is this bass amp very light in terms of its weight, but it's packed with features that most heavy ones on the market don't even come with. And most importantly, the amp sounds really good. Let me outline some of the TC Electronics features. It comes with 2 tone print options available, which you can switch between very easily with the foot switch. Tone print allows you to create your own sound or effects or download from other famous guitarists from the TC website. The amp features a built-in tuner as well as a balanced DI output, USB connectivity for tone print, an auxiliary input, headphone outs, and post-EQ as well as pre-EQ options. The amp boasts an impressive 250 watts of power, which makes it more than capable to be heard over a band. Also, despite its 12-inch speaker size, it is said to be able to compete with most 15-inch speakers, which I tend to agree with. Overall, the amp scores incredibly well when it comes to portability, and I believe it to be a very versatile amp, giving the bass player both modern and vintage sound options. Number 2. The Fender Rumble V3, the 100-watt model. Fender Rumbles have become a very popular choice of bass amp over the years, and you'll very often see them as part of a backline at a gig or two. It was a tough choice putting this Fender Rumble in second place. That is because it is just as lightweight as the TC Electronic amp, but it was just outshined by the fact that the TC is 250 watts, while this Fender Rumble is only 100 watts. The amp is still more than loud enough to withstand a gigging situation in a medium to large sized venue. The Rumble is tonally more diverse than the TC, as it has 3 different voicings, which include bright, contour, and vintage. Furthermore, a built-in overdrive effect can be engaged using a foot switch. The Rumble also has an XLR DI output, along with auxiliary input and headphone out for practicing. Something the Rumble does have is an effects loop, which the TC Electronic amp does not. In terms of weight, the Rumble is just 1 pound heavier than the TC. However, a lower output of 100 watts is featured. Overall, the Rumble version 3 comes a very close second, and you know that you're getting that Fender quality. Number 3. The PV Max Series 110. The PV Max Series is yet another one of the biggest competitors when it comes to the best lightweight bass combo amp. However, the PV amp is still heavier than the TC Electronic amp by 14 pounds, as it weighs a total of 35 pounds. PV does offer this amp in a 100, 200 or 300 watt version. The Max Series bass amp is still a very good amplifier and, like the TC, also comes packed with a lot of features. Whilst not as lightweight as the TC and the Fender, this bass amp is able to handle band practices as well as gigs in small to medium-sized venues. Features include a built-in tuner, auxiliary input, headphone out, PV special DDT speaker protection, and PV's famous trans tube technology that emulates the sound of a tube amp. Furthermore, a gain boost has been added as well as a tilt-back option. The amp comes with a powerful 10-inch speaker which is protected by the built-in PV DDT system. This enhances the low-end sound without putting any more pressure on the speaker. This combo amp is 100 watts and, considering how small it is, packs a big punch. Overall, the PV scores well, but it is hard to consider it above the TC or Fender, especially when it comes to its weight. However, as far as features go, the PV is packed full and scores level in this department. Thanks for watching my review of the best lightweight bass combo amps. Remember, if you'd like to check out any of the amps featured in this list, I've dropped a link in the description.